Alright, what's going on everyone? Welcome to the next video in our manifestation playlist. This video is going to be about visualization. You're probably watching a lot of other manifestation videos and hear about visualization all the time. It's a very powerful component, and I'm here to tell you, most people are visualizing wrong. If you are currently visualizing and you don't have every single thing in your life, stay for the end. See if you can make these minor tweaks and see what the results are going to get. To my people that haven't started visualization yet, stay to the end of this video as well. Once you incorporate this, you're going to start seeing a massive change into your life. Let's get into the video. Growing up, I'm 21 years old right now. I probably started my manifestation journey around 19 years old. I knew visualization was very powerful. For some reason, I just always struggled as trying to picture what I wanted. It doesn't matter if it was the most simple goal, me just driving a supercar or me having a certain amount of money in my account. I just couldn't visualize it for some reason. So I never really incorporated it. I would do affirmations. I would do every single thing else but visualization. But then I had a breakthrough moment. I was reading this book. I don't really remember what book I was reading, but I always heard this thing about our brain where our brain can't tell the difference between real life and what we imagine. Like, I didn't really understand what that meant. Like, I pictured stuff and I'm like, okay, how does my brain understand that this is real? I don't feel that it's real. And then there was this exercise in this book, and it basically said, picture yourself eating a lemon, right? Or about to eat a lemon. And I tried to visualize it as best as I could, and my tongue started salivating. Like, I literally started having some more saliva in my mouth because my brain actually thought I was about to eat a lemon. And that's where it kind of struck me. I was like, okay, this is what they meant by your brain can't tell the difference between what's happening in real life and what's happening in your visualizations. And once I kind of started practicing with like the exercises that this book gave me, like picture a past memory that you had that felt really good and it would raise emotion out of me, my brain actually thought it was happening in real life. So once I knew this, it kind of changed everything for me, because now I would go into my visualizations believing more that me visualizing this, my brain actually thinks it's happening. I may not believe it yet, but my brain thinks it's happening. And once we can trick the brain, our brain will start following these instructions and we'll start believing it eventually. So let's go into how this actually works. How do we implement this into our life? I'm going to go over my schedule. I do meditation morning and night. Those are my only times I meditate. I do maybe 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes before I go to bed. And this is where I get into my visualizations. I have maybe 5 goals written down that I really want to accomplish. Basically, I have them on a notebook. You can have them memorized in your head. But basically, you want to sit down. Before you even get into meditating, before you even get into visualizing your goals, you need to clear your head. You can't create a new reality from your current state you're in right now. You need to identify as a new person. You need to go back to awareness, meaning you can't be stressed on the future. You can't be stressed on the past. You got to bring your attention back to the present moment. It could be me stressed about bills. It could be me stressed about an action I did and the consequences of it. That's me stressed on the past or me stressed on the future. We can't create from this. We need to just be in present. We need to be in the now, which means I'm going to sit down and meditate just like this. And I'm going to close my eyes and I'm just going to listen. And I'm going to just try not to think about anything. This is a really good tactic to bring yourself back in the now. I'm going to focus on my breath. I'm going to try to listen to my heartbeat. I'm going to try to hear what silence sounds like, because silence does have a sound to it. But when you bring your focus to all these things, now your attention is in the now. It takes me about 2 minutes to get there. It may take you 5 minutes. It may take you 10 minutes, whatever. But whenever you can identify you're not stressed about the future or past anymore, now you're in pure creative mode. So once you get to this point, the next step is you have your goals written down. It doesn't matter what it is. You're going to start your visualization process. The more vivid your visualizations can be, the better. Let's say your goal is $10,000 a month, right? Your visualization might be seeing that $10,000 amount in your bank account. But that doesn't bring too much emotion out of it. You can see the number, you can see everything. Try to see every single letter on that screen of what your phone looks like. Be super vivid. And now start going into, okay, that $10,000 a month, what does my life look like after? Am I having a different wardrobe? Do I have different cars? Am I eating differently? Am I living in a different house? Start visualizing all these things after that $10,000 a month. You want to start bringing more emotion out of it. Everybody can visualize. Everybody dreams. This isn't the part where everybody messes up. So after you finish your visualization, this is the most important part right here. We're going to get into it. And also, while you're visualizing these different scenes, you probably heard in a lot of different videos, you have to feel emotion. Thought is electric, emotion is magnetic. The more emotion you can feel out of these visualizations, the better it is. A lot of you are probably like me. When I first started, it's hard for me to feel emotion. I can imagine me in a super crazy mansion, me doing every single thing I want to do in this life. And for some reason, I don't get emotional about it. And that's okay. Just go through the motions first. Keep on visualizing. It's going to take a little bit for you to get that belief. A thought expressed enough turns into a belief. And once that belief happens, then the emotion starts rising out of it. Now, when I go to my visualizations, I've done it over and over every single day. I believe it way more, and it gets me happy now. But when you're just starting out, don't stress out about it. Just be like, it's okay. Like, we're going to get all this. Like, don't worry. Don't worry if you don't feel anything right away, though. But this is the most crucial step most people don't do, and we're going to get into it. Now, after you get out of your visualizations, right? Let's say it is $10,000 a month. Most people will kind of just leave it as like that and just go back to their daily life like nothing happened and expect the world to bring them all these things. That's just not what happens. What you need to do is identify the next actionable step you can do towards that goal. I don't care if it's the wrong actionable step. It's what you think the next actionable step is. Let's say for me, let's go into my story. One of my visualizations was to grow my personal brand, to have more followers on Instagram, YouTube, all these other platforms, to get more business from this. And this was my visualization. I'd visualize that 20,000 follower number or that 50,000 follower number. I'd visualize all the comments I'd get, all the comments that say, oh, you inspired me so much. That's my end goal. That's what I'm visualizing. But after I finish my visualizations, now it's time for me to identify the next actionable step on how to get towards that goal. For me right now, I think it is I have to post more content. I think that means I have to interact with more people on social media. That may not be the case to go viral, but that's what I think it is, right? So that's what I'm going to do. And so now after my visualizations, this is what I do during the day. I kind of visualize, what does me making content look like? I'm going to visualize it. And I'm going to see, oh, I'm walking around at the park, I'm filming, or I'm doing a real estate deal and I'm filming the results from it, whatever. And I'm visualizing the next actionable step. And this is the most important part. I actually do the next actionable step. So I start posting content. I start interacting with more people. And guess what? This is a true story. Once the universe sees you're working on your visualizations, once he sees you working towards that next actionable step, the first 2 weeks I started doing this with this visualization, I started going live, which I've had social media for 3 years. I've been posting for 3 years straight. I've never went live until those 2 weeks I started meditating. That's definitely not a coincidence. I had an urge. Once I was visualizing this, I was keeping my mind open for that next step to do. And I got an urge to literally start going live. I got more urges to start going from 3 posts a day to 10 posts a day. And I could have did this 3 years ago. But for some reason, when I tied these visualizations and made the intention of what the next actionable step is, I started getting shown the way more. And I look back 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, look at all the things I'm doing differently. I'm getting more clients. I'm getting more partners to do real estate deals with. I don't know what changed. I really don't know what it was. But it was me just figuring out what the next actionable step was and me looking for the confirmations from the world, keeping my intuition open and waiting for the next command of what to do. Those are just a couple things. There's a lot more things out of my other goals that I just listen to. I identify the next actionable step and the world just brings me there. I promise you it works every single time. It's super weird. And so now your next actionable step changes. Now today, my next actionable step is, okay, I'm going to go live every single day. I'm going to still post my 7 to 10 times a day. I'm going to still interact with people, but what's next? That's what I'm waiting for. And I'm going to keep my eyes open. Does that make sense? And this is what everybody gets wrong, right? You have people working a 9 to 5 that want to be rich. They have the intention, right? They have the visualization of what that looks like, but they don't identify that next actionable step. Because if they did, they'd be open to that. Oh, I have a friend that's an entrepreneur. Let me reach out to him. I did get offered the side hustle 3 weeks in a row, but I kept on turning it down because I had something else going on. Now, when they make the visualization and they open up their mind to hearing what the world's next actionable step is after they identified what they can be doing right now, they do take that opportunity for that side hustle. And then the next thing you know, they meet a person from doing that side hustle and they're in a business that they would have never thought they'd be in. And eventually 6 months down the line, they're not at their 9 to 5 anymore. This is what happens. You gotta identify the next actionable step and you have to be open to the next actionable step after that. Let's review what we have so far. We're gonna meditate every single morning and night. And before we meditate, before we start our visualization, we're gonna bring ourselves back to the present. We're gonna take our thoughts from the past and from the future, and we're gonna bring it back to the now before we start creating and before we start visualizing. Once we start visualizing, we're gonna go through our visualization, however long that takes. That could take 1 minute, that could take 50 minutes, whatever it is. But now, once we get out of that, we're gonna identify the next actionable step. Once we do, we're gonna act on the next actionable step. Do this every single day, and we're gonna be open to the world telling us the next step. The universe, the world, God, whoever you wanna get the direction from. And what we call this in the manifestation community, we call this confirmations. The confirmations are the blessings that the world just drops on us. Like for me, that desire to go live one day, that was a confirmation from the world. Me getting a random side hustle to go do something and I got paid $2,000-3,000 for it out of the blue, and I never get offered those type of things, that's a confirmation of me getting closer to that goal and me getting revealed the next step. Always look for these confirmations. You have so many confirmations in your life right now, but you're just not tuned in on the frequency to understand that these are confirmations. I have multiple friends that work at a 9 to 5 that think that their life is done, the world's against them. And I'm like, bro, they don't know that they have me. They don't know that they have other people in their life that they can even reach out to. They're not even tuned in on this frequency to even think about that. But now if they visualized, they're like, oh, I want to better my life. I want to get out of this 9 to 5. Let me find my next actionable step. Let me look at all my confirmations in the day. Like, who do I know? What have I been getting offered? Has somebody sent me a book recently? I need to read this. Like, these are all confirmations, but once you do these visualizations, you're tuning your brain onto this frequency. You need to tune your brain onto this frequency to be looking around for these confirmations and to be looking around for these next actionable steps. And also, one last thing is when the world brings you a confirmation, you need to act on it. I promise you. I'm sure you guys gotten multiple desires, multiple intuitive thoughts, and just never acted on them. But me knowing that the world is going to be bringing me confirmations, the moment I got that desire to go live, I was scared to do it. I promise you. It took me 2 days to do it because that first day I tried to go on live and I was like, dang, I never did this before. But I know this is a confirmation from the world. And I knew I needed to do it. Maybe a couple years ago before I started doing this, I would have just got an urge and I just would have never done it. But now me doing these meditations, me visualizing, me identifying the next actionable step, and me knowing that the world is going to bring it to me, I knew this desire and this thought was something from above. And once I got it, I knew I needed to do it and I needed to act on this confirmation. Always act on the confirmations. You're going to know what the confirmations are. I promise you. Visualization is very powerful if done correctly. It can take you literally to anything you want. You can see it here and you can literally have it in this universe. We're creators. We've been taught our whole lives that we aren't creators and we don't have creative power, but we do. We're literally created in God's image. We can create anything that we want. You just have to understand how to create. Make sure you visualize. Make sure you act on the next actionable step and be receptive of the next actionable step and make sure you act on it. I promise you this is going to work. You're going to have every single thing you want if you do this every single day. And if you guys stay to the end of the video, once you guys do this for the next week or two, come back here and let me know everything that changed in your life. I guarantee you that if you do this every single day for 2 weeks, take out a notebook and write down every single thing different in your life. And come here and paste it in the comment section because I kind of want to see how this is working for you guys. It's cool. You never know what the universe is going to bring you. I'm in businesses right now I never thought I would be in. And it's just cool to see what the universe is going to do to get you to that end goal. Because you don't need to know how to get there. The universe is going to bring you there. You just have to know what that end goal looks like, and you have to know what that next actionable step is. You don't need to know this whole part right here. You just need to know this part and the end goal. I hope you guys stayed for the whole video. And if you guys learned something, if you guys have a comment, if you guys want me to make another video about something, let me know. I'm very passionate about this subject. I want to get my content better. That's one of my visualizations, actually. I'm in the living room right now. I'm probably not going to edit this video too much, but eventually I'm going to have way better content. And my next actionable step right now, I think, is just posting more videos, adding at least one cool edit every single video. And eventually it's going to get me there where my videos look super professional. All right, y'all, I'm signing off. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.